Hello, fellow warriors against consensus reality, lovers of truth, wisdom, the esoteric path, lovers of irreverence and sarcasm, slayers of two-faced, hypocritical, backstabbing gobshites. I haven't put out a video during the evening at this time in a very long time. I thought, okay, very well, let's try to do that, shall we? And see if it doesn't give my videos a slightly different vibe. So here we are. Now, what I wish to begin doing from henceforth is getting back to the way I began my channel, focusing on the more philosophical, esoteric stuff, which of course was kind of taken over by my ranty stuff, because that's the kind of social commentary, online social commentary ranting that I predominantly did in my old Riff Muggles channel. So I think I'd like to get back to more of that kind of mindset. Now, of course, regardless of what YouTube may or may not be doing to my channel, at this point I really couldn't give a toss. It's not about that. It's more about putting the truth out there, because it's in great need at the moment, and it's becoming increasingly rare. It's becoming as rare as an honourable, trustworthy Christian. But there it is. And as I have shared little bits and pieces of my online adventures and misadventures, mostly the latter these days, because people are, shall we say, how can I put this positively? People are entertaining and amusing in their lack of the virtues I have listed on the left here. And of course I've gone into this many times before. Suffice it to say, we're living in a world which is run by, it's not greed. Greed is just the external manifestation. It's more the bedrock foundation of the modern world we're all living in at the moment is malevolent chaos. And as I said, I briefly mention it yet again, that there are two kinds of chaos. The beneficial, positive type, which I call transformative chaos. And of course you have the flip side of the coin, namely what I call the malevolent chaos. Now, as far as the little online world, social media world is concerned, and specifically the toxic YouTube world is involved, because I tend to enjoy using YouTube as a microcosm, trying to pierce the thick veil of the macrocosm with the aim of learning some things and sharing what one learns with all you wonderful people. And so I like to share my misadventures on YouTube for that purpose, because if they serve no other purpose, let them serve something at least positive. And so, as many of you may be aware, during my last 2 or 3 videos, those of you who have actually listened, it's the drama infection that I've been fighting. It's like flu season, and you've got a bad flu, and you know you're going to beat it, you know you're beating it, but it's kicking you in the arse, as my Irish mates would say. But yeah, it's kind of interesting, because you realize that a lot of people are not honourable, are not honest, not loyal. They have no courage to stand up for what is right and what is true. especially when you get to see with your own eyes the above mentioned female whose channel I mentioned in my previous video or two, who was my, if you're going to call her anything, call her a lying stalker. Yeah, the one that downvoted my last two videos. Get a life, bitch. Find something more useful to do with your life. But there it is. And when you get to see blatant dishonor and disrespect and lying with your very eyes, it angers you at first, but then it doesn't really surprise you, because you, by this stage in the game, you sort of expect most people in today's world to be that way. And when they prove to not be that way and to actually be respectful and honourable and loyal and loving and all the rest of those wonderful virtues, then it's a pleasant surprise. Some people may call that a pessimistic mindset, but you know what? I don't really give a flying fuck. It is what it is. Because it's easy for people today to let their ego minds run riot. Yeah, it takes work. As there was a film in the 90s on the Odyssey, and I forget what the actor's name was. He was an American-Italian actor. I forget what his name was now. He played Odysseus, right? And when after his 10 years coming back from the Trojan War and all his adventures and misadventures throughout the Aegean, he found himself back at his house, and of course he disguised himself as the beggar. And to see what the state of his house was, and I won't go into the whole story now. Hell of a book, by the way. That's the world's first fantasy fiction. So thank you, Homer. You're a fucking legend. And of course, just to clarify for the brain-dead gobshites, when I say Homer, I mean my ancestor who wrote the Iliad and the Odyssey, right? Not the bumbling cartoon baboon, right? For fuck's sake. Jeez. And so he wanted to see what his son Telemachus was like, and he was having in the film a bit of a punch-up with someone over something or other. It's been a long time since I've seen it. And he cried out in the guise of the beggar, "To be angry is easy." And you know what? I've never ever forgotten that from that film. Because it's true. It's so easy to be a cunt. It really is. And for all I know, I may have lost viewers who did come here for the more philosophical esoteric thing, because, oh no, we can't use naughty words. We have to say namaste to everybody and tell everyone that we're vegan and use this fucking really annoying, they're getting fucked up the backside with a dildo kind of person dressed like a guru in their white, and you know the type. Fuck, I hate that. And their photos usually have their arms crossed in a certain guru-like manner, and they're trying to manufacture the most serene looks on their faces. I just laugh. I laugh my head off, because that's fake. That is an illusion mask. That is not how people actually are. Let me take a little example as a little side route here. Those who still hero worship Mother Teresa, she was actually a cunt who was involved in, I believe from my limited research, in child trafficking and other wonderful things. So she wasn't the sainted Catholic nun who was feeding the poor in Calcutta, wherever the fuck she was in India, right? No, that was an illusion mask as well. But I digress. And so you realize that ego mind is easy, and all the manifestations of ego mind, as far as the online world goes, trolling and being addicted to drama, especially that. I see a lot of people addicted to that, and even in my once beloved Star Wars channels and all the rest of it, It's endless hours of people telling everybody over and over and over and over again how much Disney Star Wars sucks. And you know what? I used to really enjoy these live streams, and depending on what kind of mood I'm in these days, I might happen to pop in and hit like and give them some view time and chat with the people I enjoy engaging with in the chat and go along my merry way and do something else. But I'm realizing more and more that that's not really productive to oneself. And as I said many times, it's important to carefully monitor what you take in. Sources of stimuli, information, whatever, right? You have control of that. You don't have to engage in this negative crap. Although I must say, I do enjoy the George the Giant Slayer and Disparu and Co. Piss-taking videos on the woke Amazon TV series coming out, The Rings of Power. They're hilarious. They are my guilty pleasure, if you will. If you don't know who they are, if you're into your pop culture, TV, film, whatever, critique, fandom kind of videos, search for George the Giant Slayer and Disparu, Disparu, I believe. He's a British guy, and his take on the whole Tolkien thing is fucking brilliant. But yeah, once again, I digress. That's the beauty of having totally unscripted flow of consciousness videos. But as I said, it's all a manifestation of ego mind and chaos. And it is easy to react with anger or with any number of ego mind expressions while you're because when you do that, it really is like the tail wagging the dog. Ego mind is another manifestation of your selfness, right? But when you say I, that includes a variety of different aspects. It's not only Joe Blow who lives in this place who does that for a living and has this wife and these children and whatever. No, that's just your current meatbag identity. That's part of your more connected to your ego mind, your current ego mind identity, right? But if you want to call it anything, the transcendent I, which of course in the ancient Hellenic is ego, which is where you get ego from, your welcome world, right, is something very different. And you control this. Yes, it takes work. Yeah, it takes time and work, right, to cultivate the positive aspects of these things and to stop letting all of our ego minds control absolutely fucking everything. And so when you, because all you are, because seriously, all you're doing is your connection to malevolent chaos, and that doesn't really feel very good, does it, precious? By the way, the greatest golem of all time was Peter Woodthorpe, not Andy Serkis. No fucking way in the world. But I digress. And so when people conduct themselves towards you in a less than positive virtue manner, take that initial anger and frustration and disappointment that you feel and immediately flip the switch and turn it into the transformative learning part of it. Because yeah, everything, even though the crappy little annoying things that happen in our everyday lives, they can really teach us something. So regardless of what so-and-so said on this live stream, blah, 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 which, by the way, I conducted an interesting little experiment where I was once connected to one part of the drama sphere. I wanted to conduct a little trap and a test for another part of the drama sphere, to the point where I even temporarily became a channel member, right? And I sent an email to a certain member of the other portion of the Dramasphere, and I set my trap, I baited it, and sure enough, this person took what I said and totally misunderstood it and purposely twisted it around and turned it into, oh, I hate the original, this other person from the Manosphere that I was part of, and blah, 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 blah. No, what I hate is the perpetual drama and how it makes me feel listening to that crap. Right, because if you're paying attention, everything makes you feel a certain way, and your feelings, trust your feelings. You see, that thing about the Jedi and Obi-Wan and trust your feelings, there's actually real esoteric teaching. Because our, shall we say, our non-physical abilities and aspects, quote unquote, the psychic side of things, these things are going to be near impossible to quantify in any kind of 5 cents, strictly 5 cents sort of experimental procedural methods. It can, but it's not going to work properly because it's so much more than that. So all you do is you get one jigsaw piece puzzle here that you've discovered through being aware in the present moment, and finding another one here, another one there, and you start to get pieces of the jigsaw and you start to put them together, and you start to get a picture of the information and the, not only the knowledge, but that transcends into wisdom. And once you start to get it, you realize what things are and the real nature of reality, which is the whole fucking point of the exercise. Now, once you start to do that, and once you start to travel through that rabbit hole, you're in for a hell of a time. Because your ego mind's going to be a total cunt, right? But it's one of the perks of being a lone wolf. It really is. And being a monk currently. It gives you the ability to firstly realize that you say, I'm too fucking much. And it also helps to remind you when you're being a fucking asshole yourself, to yourself and to others. And so what one who is a supposedly grown man behaving like a 13-year-old boy might call being passive aggressive, I call disconnecting and just quietly going my own way and doing my own thing. And having no ill will or no hatred or whatever to anybody, even the above mentioned stalker who blatantly lied and talked shit behind my back. But you know what? That's their karma, that's their journey, not mine. As someone said, I forget who it was now, not my circus, not my monkeys, right? Now, once you start to get that, you can actually begin to enjoy the journey of the Fool, because we all start off as the Fool, which of course of the major arcana of the tarot, which symbolizes the innocent, naive, ego mind-fueled youth, right? Now, of course, it goes through this whole journey of archetypes and discoveries and all this other stuff, which is all interconnected and all important. And there's another reason, major reason why why masculinity is being attacked, which I think I might cover in the next video. The deeper aspects of it. Not because, feminism and blah, blah, no. I might touch that more on that in connection to this video next time. If you're still here, you're fucking legends. Once again, if YouTube continues to fuck with my little channel here, I'm up to 158 subs. Thank you very much. It means I'm doing something right, and I should be proud of my efforts and carry on. And you regular guys who comment and show your support, you're fucking legends. Even one brother with whom I, not often, but occasionally have a bit of an exchange on Discord. He's a fucking legend as well. Be well, be wise, be open, and don't let your ego minds control you. To put it into colloquial terms, make ego mind your bitch, right? And of course, as always, to speak the truth is a lonely path. The irreverent, sarcastic, heathen hammer wielding lone wolf on guitar 8.